So there's a lot of things you can do with the camera, but this is the, okay, so we can scan. This is going to be kind of boring on your video. So we can take any of your kids' drawings, or you can take like her signature.
Sure. Is this the very first machine that does that?
Does she quilt?
She doesn't.
This is the top of the line machine, and yes, there are only 2 machines that do this. Pardon?
No, I was just curious which other machines.
This one and our multi-needle embroidery only.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that she would work with. So what we're gonna do, so it's scanning right now, and you can work with any vector image, JPEGs, or anything too that you bring in off your flash drive and just put in the side of the machine. There are 2 regular USBs and 1 high-speed USB with a cable, and you get the cable, of course. So if you want to connect it to your computer, but you don't have to.
Sure.
It also has an SD card slot. So we're going to create a line image. We are going to isolate your signature. We are going to, excuse me, we are going to choose what, let's see, you don't look like a pink kind of guy. How about red? So I'm going to make sure that we have all that covered. We do. I have just digitized your signature.
Sweet.
So I've turned that graphic into a stitch file. That was really difficult, wasn't it?
It was. I should have drawn Star Wars, though.
The thing is, though, if she gets this machine, then she can take my Get to Know Your Destiny embroidery class that I do because I'm on the video. I just got that.
Oh.
Yeah, very cool. So look at this. So we can move this around on our screen.
Right.
We can add designs to it. We can add lettering. Oh, there's some lettering for you. This is the real stuff. And what's your lovely wife's name?
Nan.
So watch this. I know this is not right. So I'm doing multi-line text without having to go back and start over with each line. Okay. Okay. Now, I misspelled her name. I do not have to, I can just find it up here. So I don't have to delete all the way back and start over. I can just delete that letter. How's that? Does she have 1 N or 2?
That's it.
Okay. So you have center justification, right justification, or left justification options, which is awesome. Okay. We'll put that on there too. Now our, I'm going to ungroup it so we can do some more things with it. So let's say that you want Mike on a separate line. We can go in here and cut that out.
Yeah.
Of course, Nan is way more important, so let's change the font on just her name without having to go back from the beginning. Oops, wrong one. There we go. So, ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? So what if I like that, but maybe I want to try a different font for her first letter, which you could do with any of the letters, but I'm just going to do that one. Do we like that N better?
Perfect.
Okay, so watch, let's resize just that N, because she is the important one. Look at that. And then you can even go back and say, you know what, cut that out and move it up a little bit so it looks a little bit nicer.
Cool.
Awesome. You can also arc any of your lettering. So you can choose what arc you want. You can also do vertical text.
Right.
Okay. And you can adjust how much that's arced right here on your screen. Sweet. Right? So let's go back here. Let's add a design. So let's go here. It's a very pretty monogram font. Okay. Now let's say we like that, but we want a different color. We can change colors right here on our screen. We can preview that.
Right.
Okay, so how fun is that? And like I said, you can copy. You can set up borders on your machine. You can do all that stuff, all right? You can also turn any design into an applique. If
A
you
what?
want an applique, so where you would use fabric instead of stitches, or
Okay.
So that's a lot of fun. You can. I am going to take all of this out, however. I'll leave your. There we go. Leave your signature on there. Okay. Now, let's say, now the hard part about embroidery is, okay, so you have all these great hoop sizes. This is actually 9.5 by 14. This is not the biggest hoop that comes with it. So let's say you have, and I had a thing to mark it. So the problem that ladies have with embroidery, the biggest one, is that when they want to, when they have their project set up, okay, they'll mark it. They'll say, okay, I want to mark it right here. Like they might want to put something right here in the front of a sweatshirt or whatever.
Right.
And they'll mark the cross where they want it. The problem is getting it into the hoop perfectly straight. And this is going to be almost impossible to see, so I'm sorry. So let's say though, so you would, if I hooped at that crooked, then I would have to keep rehooping until it was straight up and down like a cross here in the hoop.
Right.
But I don't have to do that with this machine, because all I have to do is set this little guy down. This is worth the price of admission right here, and that's coming up. Stickers are $10,000. They come with a free machine. Where'd they go? Okay, this is just all. You're not sticking because we've been reusing them all day. Okay, so you do that, slip that in there, and it's this easy. Ready? Oh, found it already. And boom. Positions and rotates our design so it's straight and centered in the hoop.
Sure.
Even though it's not straight, even though it's not straight or centered in the hoop. So our project's going to be perfect no matter what.
Nice.
So it also threads. So the threaded is very difficult. Thread it the traditional way, and then you touch this button. You undo it, touch the button right there.
Right. This is very similar to the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's sweet.
Pretty cool.
Okay. And now we're going to start embroidering. Well, I'm going to this. Normally, what they'll do is they will. It'll sew one color, and then it stops and tells you what the next color is to put in. And so this is your sewing order.
Right.
And the reason it does that is because embroidery is really 3D because it's in layers, right?
Sure.
So they don't want you to mess up your layering. So that's why.
Does it know if I put the wrong color in?
It does not, but it will
Okay.
actually tell you right here what color you should have it.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, that's just way too slow. You can. Good grief. There we go. All right, we're doing that, and I'm going to tell it to sew it in one color without stopping. We're just going to do a monochromatic, okay? So it embroiders top speed at 1,050 stitches a minute. Look at that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's your signature, by the way. It's sewing out first.
Nice.
It's perfect. What that just did is, imagine if you have a bouquet of daisies, and it's going to sew or embroider all the centers at the same time on all the different daisies.
Right.
A lot of machines would just embroider one and then drag the top thread over to the next one.
Yeah, and you have to trim it later or whatever.
Yes, this is trimming it for you. So it trims your jump stitches as it sews.
Yeah, what is the little arm at the bottom that looks like a hockey stick?
That's actually called a wiper. That's the technical term for
Oh,
it.
it moves the thread to
It kicks
whatever
it out of the
side,
way, yeah.
whatever
But
side
it-
you want it to be
Yeah,
at.
but it is called a wiper. I'm a service tech on the machines too. Right?
Are you?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
So what's the serviceability or the estimated service on this compared to the next two machines that he was showing
They
me?
all are fine. I mean, there's no service difference on these.
Uh-huh.
We have, and that's really not an issue with any of our machines because we have things like how to clean your machine videos. We have over 350 videos in our video library that she would have access to.
Uh-huh.
Over 50 of them are specific to this machine, which includes machine guide classes and projects that are out there.
Uh-huh.
So, and that kind of keeps everything running smoothly and keeps her going, even if she, every once in a while someone's, get a thread nest, or, oh, I forgot to do this, or whatever. But we get them going, so you're not going to have any service issues. I used to sell 5 different lines of machines. I would not sell some of the lines. I won't tell you which ones, but I would not sell some of those lines because I knew they were going to come back because people were going to have problems. They were going to have a hard time learning the machine. They were going to have a hard time with maybe tensions and things like that. I never had that issue with the Baby Lock, ever.
Nice.
Mike is not from a news agency.
So he says.
That's it. Selling the video to the highest bidder.
So if she's working on a towel or something thick like polar fleece or whatever, she can raise that presser foot up to 7.5 millimeters off the bed for embroidery. And she can also do it for sewing for a couple, for some different features on the sewing side. So that's very sweet to be able to adjust the presser foot height so it doesn't drag. So if you had something thick in here, that's so close it would drag, right?
Sure.
So you can just lift it up a little bit and adjust it.
What's
or
the
whatever you're
is it a belt drive that runs this deck?
doing. Yes. There's belts, 2 belts, X and Y axis in here. And when you're digitizing, which I'm also tech on, I teach digitizing, like creating the embroidery files on the computer or whatever also.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're really doing is you're using just a CAD program like any other one, and you're plotting the X and Y axis. I mean, you don't have to go in there and do that. You can just create stitches and things like that without having to think about it, but that's what it does. It's converting it to the position points, the buttress points, the needle drops, X and Y X points.
Right.
The Z is your layering.
And this won't do anything like abnormal size, just flat stock, basically. Like hats. Won't do any hats or anything like that.
You can do unconstructed hats. If you want to do hats, you go to Molten. Like if you want to do hats for a business, if you want to do hats like the one you have on because it has the buckram in it,
Uh-huh.
then you go to a multi-needle machine.
Right.
Or find a friend who has one and say, do me a hat.
No doubt.
You can do unconstructed caps, you can do bucket caps and things like that if you can flatten them out. And
Sure.
that's what you can do. Jacket bags. I mean, their cubes are huge. The other problem that people have is when they want to do something like, imagine a tablecloth border, okay? So you take the tablecloth, so any tablecloth border, even though this isn't the biggest hoop, it's still going to be longer than whatever our biggest hoop is, right?
Right.
So the problem is when you take it out of the hoop, okay, and then you want to re-hoop it and then try to line up the second design.
Uh-huh.
It's almost impossible. Ask me how I know. I have several failed projects that this kind of got crumpled up and thrown in the corner.
No doubt.
Yeah. So the camera in the machine actually lines it up for you. So when you take it out of the hoop and re-hoop
It
it,
figures it out.
if it's crooked, right, your project's still going to be perfectly straight.
Sure.
Now this, I stopped it because I want to show you something else. So let's say that we have, now you're going to have to do a little bit of imagining, okay? So let's say we're working with something and we already have embroidery on it, or maybe you're doing, let's say you're doing for one of the girls, do they pull any sports or anything? Do any dancing or anything like that?
Not professionally.
Well, no, I didn't think so. Do you have any celebrity children? No, I'm not asking you that.
Two.
Just in their own minds.
Well, that's okay. That's all that counts. Okay. So,
Yeah, sports
Okay.
ID or something like that.
okay, let's just go to here. Let's say that you have a denim work shirt or
Okay.
any kind of work shirt with a pocket on it, okay? And you can take